Hello and welcome to Soups and Sabers special edition here. My name is Jordan, and with me on this spectacular Saturday here is Ron. Happy belated Spider-Man Day, Ron.
Same to you, my friend. And you
Thank you.
can really feel it in the air, especially this year. We've got filming news, we've got suit reveals. It is real. We are off one road here and we are right on to another one. And I said on Twitter yesterday, there is no season like Spidey season. The hype. I'm all of you out there who are listening. Remember the build up to No Way Home, how exciting that was, and that whole theatrical experience. Well, we finally are on the path to doing that again. So it's a great day, and I'm pumped to talk to you today, man.
It's a little, it's a little different than the No Way Home because that they filmed to try to really keep everything secret, right? They were on pretty much sound stages the whole time. This, like the first day of principal photography, where we're seeing set photos of like tanks and stuff. We'll talk a little bit about that. So if you don't want to know that stuff, maybe nope out after we talk the suit reveal, which is what we're gonna probably start with. But that was, like there's just it's a little, it feels different. Like I don't know what it is. It feels different because we didn't get to see a lot of set photos. Like No Way Home, all the speculation was about Toby and Andrew, right?
Yeah.
And then like that whole leak night where like people are sending photos of that scene where they're on the scaffolding and stuff, and you're
Look
like,
at Toby's dick in this picture.
it was wild. It was wild.
Good times, man. Good times.
Now what we're doing is taking photos of hot dog carts and saying, hot dogs, they're gonna be hot dogs in this movie. It's like, okay.
And Bruce Banner wanted posters, but is it really Bruce Banner?
Looks like Nathan Lane or something, but it ends up being some other guy that's real. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It does feel kind of like last year we did an episode like this on Elseworlds where it was about the Superman set photos and the suit reveal there, right? Like we had those type of episodes, and I would say it kind of feels similarly
easy for you to say.
Similar? It just feels similar to me because Spidey's number one for me, Superman's number two. But I think what makes this one feel so special and why everybody is so hyped, Ron, is because it has been 5 years since we've seen him. We were kind of at this point where we were seeing Spider-Man every year. We saw him in Civil War, we saw him in Homecoming, Infinity War, Endgame, Far From Home. 2020 we didn't see him, but then 2021 we saw No Way Home, and it was like almost every year you're seeing Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was like 5 out of 6 years, and then since then it's just been
nothing. By next year it'll have been 5 years, which I saw somebody say is the same length of time from Civil War to No Way Home that we've gone from No Way Home to this. And I feel like that wait is actually warranted. I feel like as much as I love Spider-Man, I do think it's nice to get that little bit of a break. We can kind of catch up with him during this movie of like, hey, it's been a couple years. Where's he at? Like, it feels like, Spider-Man and Sony were releasing these movies every 2 years, right? Like that was their stipulation originally in their contract. And it was just, I'm glad like 2023, we didn't have another Spider-Man movie right after No Way Home. Like, I feel like that would have felt a little, I feel like this feels like a bigger deal now today and yesterday. Yesterday and today feel like huge deals.
Yeah, it's the return of Spidey. There's a special feeling around like when Spider-Man time is on the horizon. I think the only one that really rivals it is the Avengers. But you're right, it's just all of that time that we've had to wait from now and then, and knowing what we know, that this movie probably tonally is going to be far different than what we've gotten from Tom so far. This is going to be a much more mature adult, kind of like classic comic like Peter Parker that we know of. So I agree. I think it was good to have a little bit of a wait. Kind of wish the MCU would do that after Secret Wars entirely, but that's an entirely different discussion. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think the wait was a good thing in hindsight. I mean, it wasn't fun when we were sitting here for years being like, oh, I wish we had more Spider-Man. I wish we had more Spider-Man. But now that it's here, it's like, yeah, it feels like it was worth it.
All right, so if you don't know what we're talking about, you're under a rock, but I have the video queued up. I'm going to play the 20-some second thing again, just because I want to see it again as well. But we're gonna. This is what they've revealed today as I'm eating breakfast with my son this morning.
We ready?
The answer is
Said
yes,
a lot.
right?
Oof, said a lot with a little, man. Like literally, I've watched that probably like 15 times, and every time it still makes.
Have you
my
really?
arm. Yeah, dude. Well, because I showed a ton of people at work today.
Oh, okay.
I will admit, I did pull a Chris. I was just showing everybody. If you were in my vicinity today, you were watching this movie.
No, yeah, I've only been really around my my wife and son, and then we went to like a little party and stuff. But yeah, I watched it like when you first sent it in the group chat, because that's how I knew it was happening. I got your notification first before anything else, because I was helping my son eat breakfast, and then which is funny because it was like right after we were having another part of a conversation.
Yeah, it was out of nowhere, dude.
It was like we were kind of like already starting to see some set stuff that we were sending back and forth, and then that happened. But goosebumps, like I had goosebumps during that. I don't know if it was just because it was a little chillier than usual, but I think it was the moment. I do think it was the moment hit me, and I was
that
very
Giacchino score behind it and everything.
Yes.
It fits. But yeah, let's talk about the suit, because I feel like you and I both got a little bit of the best of both worlds with what we were looking for. I said that I really liked more of that darker blue, and it's not fully navy or anything like that, but it definitely feels like a bluer blue than we got on the Final Swing suit. But the design is still very reminiscent of the Final Swing suit in a lot of ways, while also, I think, paying a lot of homage to Toby and Andrew, which I again, to go back to my Twitter, I put up a thing today of like, it almost feels like that was very much a way to like be a physical representation of the fact of like, yeah, Peter takes a little bit of Andrew and a little bit of Toby with him now, and the lesson that they taught him, when they're up in that tower at the end of No Way Home and he's at his rock bottom. So I had a lot of thoughts about this suit, and they were all very good. Like, I think this, we got to see the eyes, but neck down, this is my favorite suit so far. I don't know about you.
So I got the comparison up here. I did this earlier. So this is the Final Swing concept art and the suit we saw today. And if you had to, if I had to guess on what the mask is going to look like, I would say it's going to look like the one on the left. I know some people really want the big eyes. I did want that back when Amazing Spider-Man 2 happened, and we got it. I almost would rather him stay with these eyes because they kind of are his eyes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like the fact that they have looked like all of these Spider-Man have had such unique suits enough where you can look at them and say, that's Andrew, that's Toby, that's Tom. And this is, look, that spider logo is like the exact same from Final Swing.
Yeah.
It's just a little bigger. You can actually see that on the right-hand side. If you're watching us on the YouTube, I apologize if you're an audio listener, but on the right-hand side, those front legs or the middle legs actually come down into like a line here. And on the left side, they don't quite reach that far down. So it looks like they took the Final Swing suit, made the logo bigger. Maybe the blue, maybe the blue is darker. It's kind of tough to tell with the lighting because sometimes this one in Final Swing looks dark, but then the light bounces off in it. Looks more aquamarine. But and this is a dark warehouse, so it's kind of hard to tell. But I do think it is probably a little darker. Yeah. But I think in my mind, they're going to try to act like this is the same suit. Like he's been rocking the same suit since the final of No Way Home. And like he has the raised webbing, which in the final swing he did not. Like it does not seem that way. So yeah, I mean it looks pretty much exactly what I wanted, like classic Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, 100%, dude. On the eyes, I'm curious, where do you lie on the moving versus not moving thing? Because I almost kind of find myself in a camp now, and even though I do agree with you, the fact that each Spider-Man on screen having their very distinct eyes that really haven't changed even when things on their suit around them change, I kind of find myself in the camp of like, I would be cool if we went to like bigger Todd McFarlane style eyes that didn't move. What do you think?
I mean, I like that look in the comics. I just wonder if that would be too close to
Andrew, right?
suit. Yeah. I feel like it might be a little too close to Andrew's. I actually think my favorite drawing type of Spider-Man is this on the left concept art here, like with the smaller white eyes, but with the black
Heavy
outline.
black around. Yeah.
And I would assume maybe he would still be able to have them be expressive. That I'm not as like hardcore on, like expressive eyes, because people will be like, well, how's he going to do that if Tony's not making the suit? But like obviously he had that suit for a while and could have reverse engineered it if he needed to. Whatever. And just take the eyes from his old suit and put it in a new suit. Like he could do that too. Like so I would be fine with them being expressive eyes, and I could headcanon it too that he's smart enough to reverse engineer it. I don't think we have to act like he's not, this is Peter Parker. I don't think we have to act like he's not smart enough to be able to do that.
He already has with the black and red suit when he made it at the end. I mean, granted,
it was Tony's machine, right?
It was like Tony's stuff. Yeah, but if that's a complaint, which I haven't seen that, so we're not saying that. But if that is a complaint, that's just somebody looking for a reason to complain. That's a No Way Home is a bad movie type of person, right?
right. It's where they're like, oh, they haven't gotten him right at all. It's like, okay, whatever. I don't know what to tell you.
But go scream into the void. Yeah.
But no, I think it looks like exactly what I was like. I kind of had was waiting with bated breath, waiting for him to step in the light, and I'm like, please just look close to final swing. And it does. I mean, it just looks like straight up comic Spider-Man. Like you open up a Spider-Man comic, Ultimate Spider-Man, you could open this up and this is something you would find in it.
Yeah. And I wonder, like, again, Ultimate is another of those big eyes I love too. So if we're going that route, I think seeing the spider on the back will be very telling. How that one looks will be very interesting. I'm curious.
That's a good point. What does final swing Spider-Man look like on the back?
Offhand, I don't remember.
I think it's not like, I don't think it's the typical like small fat spider on the back, which is what people want.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see if I can find real quick like the like the PS5 model of it, and just like spin it around real quick. Or
well, while you're doing that, I guess we can talk a little bit about not to while you bring up PS5, it seems like we're getting a lot of parallels to that game in this movie when you combine things that we've seen already with Mr. Negative and the inner demon symbol on the tank and all that stuff. But now we're getting some rumors that maybe Fisk might actually be in this thing and like might be the one pulling the strings behind things, and it's just a matter of like, can they show him, or like will it be a thing where he has to just be the unmentioned in the background thing, kind of like how Spider-Man was in Daredevil, ironically. So it seems like we're going to be getting some heavy influence from that first Spider-Man PS1 game, which it's me and your favorite story, Spider-Man story, period. Which hopefully people don't take too much offense with that. 'Cause it's a great story. There's been a lot of great comics and stuff, but that first Spider-Man PS5 game, man, that hits. So if we can get some stuff in there, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there too who like that is their Spider-Man, right? Like the PS5 game was so successful, and way more people are playing video games than are reading comics. You know what I mean? So if that's a cool way to bring in some extra people who may not have come in. Although if you're Spider-Man's a little different. I don't think Spider-Man's going to be hurting to find people, to inch over that profitable line by any means.
This is what the spider. It's the same sort of spider, just bigger from the front.
Okay.
And red. That's what it looks like. Yeah, I mean, if we are getting Mr. Negative, which I guess a spoiler warning for set photos now. If people want to,
we're already down the rabbit hole. Whatever. Yeah.
There is, like a tank that one leaker says. Well, is he really a leaker? Daniel RPK says that it is Punisher driving it. So some people think that looks like the new Punisher logo. The one without the skull, but we have him in Daredevil with the skull. We have him in his special presentation with the skull. I doubt we're going to then just flip to him wearing the new ugly Punisher logo. And it looks more like the Inner Demons logo anyway. So I do think, if Frank is driving it, it's probably he hijacked it or whatever.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on getting a Frank War Machine style suit? Because I don't fucking want it. I don't want it.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's a real thing in the comics, and way more people are on board with it on social media than I thought. I thought when I thought that, my first reaction was no, hell no, we don't need an Iron Man in this movie, especially a Punisher Iron Man.
Right. No, I don't think they would go. I don't think they'll go with that. I don't think they'll go with that. That would be, I don't know. That would be almost a jump the shark moment when you're.
It would absolutely be the jump the shark moment,
especially when we just saw him in Daredevil, and it was, he's just a normal guy, and then you see him in his special presentation set photos. He's just a normal guy. I can't imagine how would he get the suit. What are you even?
Someone was saying he breaks into one of Tony's old warehouses and steals the War Machine suit or something. I'm just no, hell no.
No, and I don't think that would be the plan for that. I think if anything, you can put that to bed if he is driving the tank. That's probably the way he's going to be able to catch up with Spidey web slinging. And when you have, I don't know, is Hulk rampaging during this? Is it the inner demons that they're facing? We don't know. Is it another villain they're facing at this time? Or
we know there's going to be at least one more villain in this movie, confirmed.
Yeah, who? You mean Sadie Sink's? Oh, you mean Scorpion?
Yeah.
we have Sadie Sink, though, too, who's supposed to be maybe a villain. People speculated before.
Maybe Black Cat. Yeah, who knows?
But no, you're right. Sorry. We have the confirmed return of Scorpion, and Mark Ruffalo's Hulk are coming back for this. This was revealed yesterday as of this recording. So that's the other news we wanted to talk about today. Let me pull up the article on my phone here, because sometimes when I pull it up on my computer while we're doing this, it's a little slow.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hollywood Reporter said yesterday, late Friday on my drive home, so I missed it while it was happening. Mark Ruffalo is returning to reprise the role of Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, in the future, which comes 14 years after the actor joined the MCU in the Avengers. At the same time, Michael Mando, known for his work on Better Call Saul, is returning to reprise the role of Scorpion, the villain character whom he first played in Spider-Man Homecoming. So we're finally getting some follow-up on that post-credit scene from 2017. By the time this movie comes out, it will be a 9-year-old post-credit scene.
Crazy.
Here's what I'm going to do, too. I told you before, I'm going through the Doomsday rewatch. Mm-hmm. I'm going to track every post-credit scene and if it's been resolved or not as we're going through.
In the beginning, you'll have a lot of that, but towards the end, yes. We got the Hercules, we got the Council
Eternals.
of Kangs, the Eternals. Yeah, it's a long list.
Yeah, I just want to see if it is as long as it's been in my head. In my head, I'm yeah, we have not really had anything that's the Shang-Chi one hasn't been followed up, right? None of those. Oh, and that makes me think too. I was listening to another podcast bring this up because it wasn't clicking for me because She-Hulk came out after. Mm-hmm. But She-Hulk, he's in Smart Hulk form. Mm-hmm. But in the Shang-Chi post-credit scene, he's Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
With a broken arm. which means he's already split. Because She-Hulk took place before Shang-Chi, I believe, in the timeline.
Yeah, I think so. I never even
put that together.
Hard about that. No, not at all. That's actually crazy. I forgot. Yeah, he couldn't. You put the brain and the brawn together. It's like he couldn't turn back into Bruce, right?
Right. He would have had to split them again. So at this point, he is split, which means we probably don't need much setup for Savage Hulk. I know people have been trying to be like, well, Mr. Negative's going to do this, that, whatever. He could just be Savage Hulk again.
Yeah. They'll have to explain what happened, like how he did that. Yeah. But yeah, I don't see. I also saw some rumors that it could be something Fisk does to because the whole thing about a Hulk running wild in New York is great for the anti-vigilante thing, right? To be like, look at this, we got this mad, crazy freaking coming around, just destroying everything. So he could be behind it too. I think the Mr. Negative thing. No, what were you saying?
I just saw some people speculate it could be Joe Fixit form of Hulk as well and be kind of gray.
That would be a little much for me. Yeah, going around with the freaking suit on.
yeah.
No, that might.
I do wonder how that it will, because there was that leak at the toy thing where people said like Boomerang and Tarantula were going to be in it, and Tombstone, and people are like, what if it was Joe Fixit and it looked like Tombstone to the person or whatever. Yeah. So I mean, could be, but
maybe
also Tombstone, the Tombstone toy could be from Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man as well. He was in that.
Oh yeah.
So it could be that there was a little mistake on some confusion there. I mean,
hey man, we got a Superman toy leak of the Lex power suit. So we've known these things are not exactly 100% concrete.
And the Abominable Snowman. That was apparently a deleted scene, but yeah, there was.
That would have been really cool. I wish we saw that.
Apparently, like Crypto was just like killing Abominable Snowmans or something.
Like that would have been great. Superman still. Oh man.
But no, so I'm very excited for this. I was a little down when the rumors of the Hulk thing were happening because I've come around to it, I think, just because it sat with me more now. I kind of like accepted it, I guess. I'm just hoping he's not, and I was kind of worried he'd be like the main villain that they were having for it. I'm like, I want to actually see like one of Spidey's rogues. So if it is Mr. Negative and his demon gang and stuff like that, then I'm very excited because I got introduced to him through the video game. Mm-hmm. He was not one that, I haven't read like the Brand New Day comics or anything when Slott introduced some of those characters, but he really won me over in those Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2. I think Mr. Negative is a really cool character, and I thought the story they did with it was really awesome. I was like, I want to see him in live action, more than like some of the more established Spider-Man villains that are not as interesting to me.
Yeah. I mean, we love Doc Ock, but we've seen him a million times already. There's
right.
Spider-Man's been very much one of those ones like you've seen Shocker, you know what I mean? Like they've had a very consistent through line of like the villains from trilogy to trilogy. So yeah, to be able to get like a Mr. Negative there and like imagine like that I don't even know what like the demon negative zone, like that whatever he takes Peter.
Oh yeah.
Imagine that in like IMAX, like that's gonna be awesome.
I can't imagine in an IMAX. I haven't.
Yeah, never could.
Don't even know what that's like. But no,
you could see pictures and you could just imagine it, brother.
Yeah, just imagine. I'll imagine the leaked theater pictures of it because that's how I experience IMAX. But no, I mean this is a little unwieldy. I feel like if we're talking about like if Sadie Sink is also a villain, which I don't know, but there was that rumor of a female villain. Maybe she would just be like one of his college classmates. Like I feel like that could work. Like you said, could work if she's Felicia or whatever, right?
And I mean, like MJ Watson's the obvious one, but it's almost so obvious that it's like, do they?
And we already have an
we,
MJ, right? Like you
we've
don't.
had the
We
the
had
MJ
that talk
Watson,
before. Where
Michelle Jones Watson. It's like, so who knows? Maybe they'll do that, but I think we're probably both in the camp of probably not.
yeah. The only way I think you could pull off something like that is if you did the reboot after Secret Wars, where it's like a soft reboot, where it's like, oh, MJ is now this redhead, but like again, Zendaya and Tom Holland are married or getting married. Like I don't know if he would be down for that either. Of like, you just kind of like whitewashed the character.
Yeah, and swapped out. They
like,
whitewashed and they wife-washed it.
yeah. Yes, I don't know if he'd be down for that either. So I do think she's going to be a different character. I'm hoping he's in college during this, even though it's been 5 years. You can kind of fudge the numbers in the MCU, I think, where it's not 5 years of real time. Because they were already ahead due to the blip, you can kind of just act like, if you want to catch back up to normal time, you can just act like it's, some of that stuff is taking place in a more truncated timeline instead of the real timeline.
Imagine if she really is Jean Grey and she's just like Peter's classmate.
That'd be weird. Shouldn't she be at
she would be at Xavier school? Yes, she would be at Xavier school. Absolutely. Yes.
I kind of hope she's not X-Men. I feel like that'd be really confusing when you're going to be bringing in the Fox X-Men still. I think you hit the X-Men button for post Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like I just saw people speculating on what that 2027 date is between Doomsday and Secret Wars. My bet is that it is not going to be a movie. I just think they're not going to release something.
Oh, you don't think they're going to do anything at all?
No.
They're not going to do like an Ant-Man / Captain Marvel type thing?
I would say no. I don't think they're going to do it. I think right now they're scaling back. They're worried. I mean, one thing that might also get to them is some of these box office returns lately. They might be like, let's hold it all and just do Doomsday and Secret Wars and kind of hit X-Men right after. I think that's probably the smarter play. I would love a Doctor Strange 3 or something to kind of shore up those post-credit scenes that haven't been touched on as well.
Yeah, dude. Like, what role does Clea play in all this now? Like,
did you see the interview with Feige where he's like, well, some of these characters we're going to see again and some we're never going to see again. And I'm like, okay, well, for the phase 4, for some of the multiverse saga characters. So I'm assuming we're not getting Eternal characters ever again. We might not get Clea again. We might not get some of these things that, were more panned. Hercules, yeah. I don't know if we're going to see some of those guys again. So, I mean, I guess you could have him like, what I would assume is maybe he pops out in the middle of Doomsday or Secret Wars and is like, this is where I've been. This is what I found out. Yeah. And now I know how to answer this puzzle that stops Doom or something. I don't know. Yeah. He learned the knowledge while he was out with Clea and, comes back to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, because we're already. I was hoping we were going to get some kind of Illuminati type shit, but seeming like
if it's 2027, it would already be 5 years from Multiverse of Madness.
Crazy, dude. We had the Civil War is 10 next year too thing before.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
We're blinking and years are going by, which I mean, it sucks, but is also good, I guess, in a lot of ways. Because like we were just saying with Superman, right? Like Deadpool and Wolverine was yesterday, right? And we're already here.
Right.
We're gonna blink and we're gonna be sitting here next year saying the same damn thing. So
yeah, we'll be actually watching Brand New Day and being like, that was quick. That was a quick build up to it.
Yeah. It's like we just went to sleep and woke up and it was here. Yeah. Basically.
But and then also Feige also said Destin Daniel Cretton has like 8 comic book covers on his wall that he's going to be like recreating in the movie. I would assume
Venom was on there. Very interesting.
I assume one of them is for sure that Punisher Spider-Man first Punisher's first appearance cover is probably going to be one of those. And also, I want to say, while the toy leaks and stuff that people said before in that Disney consumer thing, that there's only one guy that reported on that, and I don't know how other people wouldn't have reported on that. So I still don't know the validity, but if it is like Tarantula and Boomerang, those were on the comic covers that were seen on what his Destin Daniel Cretton's assistant shared. But what I would also say is, just because you're recreating a comic book cover doesn't mean every character in that cover needs to be there. So it could just be a certain pose Spidey hits on the cover, and another character is substituted in for that other character. So it doesn't mean Boomerang or Tarantula would be in that exact same spot on the cover. You could have Mr. Negative or Punisher in that space for him, and then you have Spider-Man doing the same thing as the cover. So like that's a thing.
And who knows, maybe the first big scene of the movie that we're seeing is just like Peter fighting, Scorpion, Tarantula, and Boomerang. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
right. It could just be like a nice montage
kind of villains. Yeah.
I do hope, I said this to you yesterday, I do hope Scorpion gets a little bit more. I think Michael Mando is such a great actor. Better Call Saul is one of my favorite shows. And he was criminally underused in Homecoming, and with the payoff of the post-credit scene, hopefully, I would like it to be more than just what some are speculating of, like, oh, he like arrests him in the first scene and it's over. It's like, I feel like that would almost cheapen that post-credit scene. I'd be like, well, he took care of him in one scene later.
May as well just not even have done it. Yeah.
Right. So hopefully what I would think is maybe he's more like a secondary villain to, or like if it is a gang war between the inner demons and Scorpion's gangs that are going on.
Like a piece of a bigger plot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm leaning more towards. And Spider-Man is trying to stop both sides, but also Punisher's getting involved for maybe trying to take out one of them, or just Punisher shows up when Hulk gets unleashed. I don't know. Like there's a lot of cool moving parts here that I'm not really sure how this all fits yet.
Yeah. And if there is gang warfare going on, you'd have to think Tombstone would have to be involved in that somehow too. So like,
right. So maybe that is true then.
Maybe we are just getting like a ton of Spider-Man side villain. You know what I mean? Like they're really making this have that like comic booky feel where you never know who's going to show up where type thing. A little bit like Superman a lot in that way, where they were just kind of throwing these characters at you. Some of them served big roles. Some of them, maybe not so much, but like they were all characters you knew from the comics. It made it feel more lived in. I'm firmly under the belief that they are making this movie one last big hurrah to the MCU New York that we have known for 20 years that is probably going to look a whole lot different after Secret Wars. So I think this is going to be, we're going to see a lot of in the city. I think we're going to see a lot of characters that we know. And I think it's going to be one final love letter to the place that seems to be sort of the central hub of this whole universe. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
What's your thoughts on past Brand New Day? So actually, we never even talked about the title really, because this was revealed while we were doing Daredevil coverage. With Spider-Man Brand New Day is the title. They've ditched the home vibe, which I did like, but I am glad that we're not sticking to that past the trilogy. Just move on. Yeah. Now we got the brand new trilogy. Maybe the Day trilogy. I don't know, whatever this ends up being. But I would also be fine if there's no consistent theme in these. Like if it's just Brand New Day, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Like
do other comics. Yeah. Like other comic stories. Yeah.
But what's your thoughts on the title? I really loved what it was. I know this comic is kind of panned sometimes, like the whole Brand New Day arc and stuff, but like, it doesn't mean you can not take a good title and make it better. We saw that with like Civil War. I don't like the comic Civil War that much, but the movie was great, and I think they adapted it better than the comic. So I think sometimes when you can take Age of Ultron doesn't really fit with what that comic was, but they took the cool name and just said, here it is. So I quite like this. I was very excited when they revealed this title for Brand New Day.
Yeah, it's a slam dunk considering all the circumstances around it. This is we obviously saw Peter leave in No Way Home just with a clean slate, fresh start, new suit, new life, everything. Yep. So, I mean, it's kind of the obvious choice. It always kind of was the obvious choice, really, even though the story does bring up, like you said, a lot of bad memories with people, like with the Mephisto deal and breaking up Peter and MJ for,
But we had already got that in No Way Home done better anyway. So, like, this is just kind of taking the name and going where that went after, I feel like, like, hey, it's brand new day. He's moving on. He's on his own.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think, because you said we're sending the swan song for the 616 New York, because I'm guessing your thought is after Secret Wars, they're merging 828, 616, and does Destin Daniel Cretton get a trilogy, or because he never got Shang-Chi 2, he was going to do Kang Dynasty. Does he get to do Spider-Man 5 and 6, or is it like they're going to rotate out? Do we even get a 5 and 6, or is this the end of Tom Holland's Spider-Man? Like, what's your thoughts on the possibility of that?
I do think this is probably going to be this Doomsday in Secret Wars. I think that's probably going to be it for him. I could be dead wrong about that, and maybe he even feels that way, and then Marvel throws our Robert Downey Jr. money at him and he stays. Who knows? But my gut just tells me, like, he's doing the Odyssey, he's doing all this stuff. I don't think he wants to play Spider-Man forever. And getting this final, one big send-off, then you get the big Avengers, do that you get to do. And then by that time, we're probably going to be in like Miles Morales territory where they can start thinking about how they're going to use him, knowing that Spider-Verse is ending in 2027. So I think he's probably going to be done. Maybe even wouldn't surprise me to see, again, to go back to the PS5 influence, maybe we get a Peter and Miles movie, or like, okay, maybe we get a Miles movie and then like Peter comes back way, way down the line, just like for that team up, you know what I mean? To make it that big event movie, much in the way that No Way Home was. But I do think, just in a general sense of being the Spider-Man, I do think he's going to be done after Secret Wars.
Interesting. I'm kind of split. I'm not really sure what. I think if he was going to be done, he would have left at the end of No Way Home, because that was such a strong ending. I feel like coming back opens up. I feel like he's going to do more, but the issue is,
what was his deal over after No Way Home?
I believe the Sony deal was.
Because if he still had more films in his contract, then
I think the only thing that was still pending and is still pending is when they re-upped the No Way Home deal was an appearance in another project for Marvel.
Okay,
because it was they did a straight like one more movie for No Way Home, and then you get to use them in one more as well, but they haven't done that yet. So, and I'm assuming then when they re-signed for Brand New Day, they probably upgraded the contracts for that too. I'm not really sure. But I do hope, if this movie is good and Destin Daniel Cretton does what he did with Shang-Chi, I do think he deserves getting a 5 and a 6. My plan would be also something that Feige said during his rounds of Fantastic Four, was that Sony won't let them use Miles in the MCU until after the Spider-Verse movies are done.
Yep.
I think that makes sense too. If you're Sony, you're like, this is our thing. We've been doing this. You have Peter. You don't need Miles right now. We have Miles. You don't need Miles too. You have Peter.
We are we are halfway to ruining this, and you are not going to stop us, Marvel.
My thought is that you're right. It ends in 2027. This movie comes out in 2026. So it's not even like there's really a chance of overlap anyway. But maybe Spider-Man 5, you introduce Miles as a character like in the PS4 game where he is not having his powers yet, and you have that stinger almost exactly like you do in the game. And then that Spider-Man 6 movie, that swan song for Tom Holland, is passing the torch to Miles. And then you have a Miles 7, 8, and 9. Boom. And then by the time you recast for Peter again, it's been a bit. And you can, at that point, the MCU would probably fall apart anyway, and Sony would reboot by
Yeah.
themselves. So
Mhm.
I think that would work very, very well. But I do want that team up of of
Of
Spidey
Peter,
and Miles at some point.
we need it. It would be such a fumble for Sony and Marvel Disney to not make that happen. And they're going to. Make no doubt about it, they are going to. So I do, yeah, at some point we are going to get that. Hopefully sooner than later, but I could also, even like I said, kind of go with my theory of like, maybe after this he's done, then maybe we just get a Miles like origin movie, and then afterwards we get the Spider-Man team up. There's a lot of things they could do if it's just a thing where it's like Holland wants more time off from Spider-Man. Although I don't, it's tough because he's had a lot of time off. But then from there, we're going bang, bang, bang. Movie, at least one after that with Secret Wars, and probably Doomsday too. So who knows?
He did just say he wants to maybe take some time off in 2027, which, you know, he did just do Odyssey and this back to back, and he's probably going to do Secret Wars. So I can understand that's probably going to be exhausting.
Yeah.
But I think that's fine. He would probably be filming again in, I mean, like
28, probably.
right, or you film early 2027, end of 2026 for a 2028 Spider-Man 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could do that too. I don't think it's going to take 5 years for Spider-Man 5 is my main point.
Yeah,
I think we are maybe back on track to do 2 to 3 years in between these movies, before maybe he ends his run.
Yeah, sounds right.
So before we head out, do you believe that Spider-Man is going to be in Doomsday?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to have a like massive role, but I don't see how he's not. If this movie is as big as it's clearly going to be, and with all these people in it, and you'd imagine that a pretty good large part of that is going to be in New York. We already know that New Avengers Tower is in New York. So it would be very shocking for him to just not be in this movie at all. So they just can't, throw him all over the marketing, and his face is good for a sizable chunk added to whatever this box office is going to be. Doesn't matter if he's in it for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. Spider-Man being in the movie is going to bring more people into the theater. So I think they know that. Doomsday is kind of like halfway done. What was that Mackie said? They're like halfway through production or whatever.
I think I don't know if it's halfway through or half of his scenes. That was a very kind of confusing thing, because I think Alan Cumming is going back to I think he's filming this week or next week as a Nightcrawler again, and he filmed earlier a few months ago. So they are kind of. Here's the thing too. I just want to get this out of the way.
Yeah.
When it comes to the script stuff, some of that stuff is not just like they don't know what they're doing. Like, oh, duh, like what do I write? Some of it is
they're trying to write the script. Yeah.
Some of it is the scheduling issue of all of these actors and figuring out what they can film on certain dates. And while that's happening, they're going to be maybe rewriting stuff. Maybe a character was supposed to be in that scene, but the actor's not available. So it's either like, do we use a stunt double because he's in a suit, or is it a face character that maybe we put a different character in that scene instead? So that's some of the stuff that's going to be going on with it. It's not just like Feige even said this. They do start filming with a completed script. It's just that they like to be able to, as he calls it, plussing it, right? Where if he feels like something is lacking, they will change it.
Yeah.
So that whole thing has been bothering me, because they are writing stuff. They do know what they're doing. This is how they've operated on every single movie, pretty much. And the only reason why people are negative on it now is because they had a little bit of a string of misses that I think were not because of script issues, in the sense of going on the fly. It was more of Feige was spread so thin due to releasing multiple movies and shows in a year. That's not the case anymore. So, and we've seen that with Thunderbolts. We've seen that with Fantastic Four. I'm sure we're going to see it with this movie and Doomsday. So I have hope with that. We'll talk a little bit more about that in our what's to come episode for, the rest of the what we're going to be covering next year and stuff, where we can kind of dive into our concerns with Doomsday and our hopes for Doomsday and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but that's been driving me nuts.
No, you're very right too. But just to circle it back to what I was talking about, so Doomsday, the production on that movie is still a very fluid, active, ongoing thing. So
Yes.
even if maybe he wasn't in like the original plans, I think they might be looking at those Fantastic Four box office numbers in the second weekend and say, all right, we got to write him a scene or two in here, if anything, just so we can throw a shot in the trailer of him swinging. You know what I mean? Just any little bit that can help. Even though, it's the Avengers, so it's probably going to sell anyway. But again, we thought the Fantastic Four was going to be a pretty layup of a hit too, even if it's not like make $1 billion or anything like that. But now we're like kind of, biting our nails, wondering how much this thing's going to get across the profit line. So I think we're at a point where it's like, for these next 3 movies, Spider-Man, Doomsday, Secret Wars, they're just going to throw everything at us. Probably they're going to leave no room for doubt to where, like, if this movie does, or if these movies don't do as well as they should, they'll only be able to throw their hands up and say, all right, what else do we do?
And my main concern is, obviously I wanted to do well box office wise for the continuation of this.
Yeah.
But Doomsday and Secret Wars are happening, right? So all I really want them is to be good, and that, like, to live in a world, Ron, where we're gonna have 6 Avengers movies by the end of Secret Wars. It's just a world I never expected to live in. So that feels great. And if it bombs, but is a quality movie, then I won't care. My care would be in, like, all right, we're not going to see this for a while.
The future,
right? Yeah. They're gonna be taking a break. But I think overall, I'll be able to look at a certain point. You're going to have diminishing returns because you're going to have 50 some movies in this universe, and that is daunting for new fans. Especially when you do throw in characters from the X-Men movies, from the Tobey Maguire movies. That now I'm sitting here, like, when I introduce this to my son, what order do I show him these things in? Like, that's a question. How's my rewatch going to go? And we joked about it on the Fantastic Four episode of, do you watch Blade? Do you watch Elektra? Do you watch, Daredevil? And it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I do that. But the last thing I want to hit real quick is just, as a fan of DC and Marvel, I really want the pissing match to stop on social media, and it's both sides. This is not just this is not like when people say it's both sides on the politics side. It is both
there
sides.
There are very fine people on both sides.
On the DC and Marvel sides, I've seen it on both sides, and some people don't even realize they're doing it. Like, I saw somebody that is that I interact with that was like upset about something earlier, but I'm like, you kind of do that as well, but on the other side of it, it's And one thing that really got to me today is that Spider-Man fans were like, whoa, we just look at the likes on this post of the suit, from yesterday. And then they're like, compare that to, I guess, the Matt Reeves, and then people were like, well, look at what the Supergirl poster did. It did way more likes. And I'm like, do we really have to is this the only discussion we have now is, this movie with inflation made more money than this movie without inflation? You're like, just stop. Like, can we please just have actual maybe discussions of the merits of the films? That's what we like to do here on this show, and that's what you're going to get here. We're not going to be like, doing those stupid pissing matches between the two companies.
No, it's lowbrow. It's lowest common denominator. It doesn't require any thought. Just my side good, your side bad. It's so, again, brain dead is the word that I always come back to with it, because it is. There's no thought required. There's no creativity. You're not coming up with theories. You're not it's just a negative, bad, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, unnecessary conflict you're creating.
Yes.
When it's like, we're all just fans of this stuff. Like, just be a fan. You don't have to be tribal about it. It's so stupid.
If you don't like the Marvel stuff, don't bring it up. If you don't like the DC stuff, just don't bring it up. Just focus on what you like. And that's what's so frustrating to me is because like there's accounts that I follow for DC stuff that are then taking shots at Marvel, and I'm like, but I liked you because you were really propping up Superman, and I love that movie. And then it's like you see the same people with the Fantastic Four thing before that movie came out, where they're like, we're gonna crush Superman. I'm like, but I like that movie. Like, why are you doing that? So that is very frustrating, and I just hope that it dies down, but it's the internet. It will never die down. It's going to just keep getting that way. And just the same thing with like upgrade, downgrade. And
oh God,
it's annoying.
That's all right. All we can do is continue to try to, you know, be who we are in spite of that, not to sound all pretentious and you know, braggadocious and stuff, but
if you're looking for actual discussion and thoughts of it, we have that stuff on here, and we try not to get too in the weeds of that stuff on the socials as well. So you're not going to see us kind of like take shots at either side or whatever. Like it's just straight up, we support both. I grew up loving, you know, the Batman animated series, Spider-Man animated series, X-Men, the animated series. So like that was, you know, and then I grew up watching Justice League and Superman and stuff like that. So it was very much that. And I think it's so funny when you have James Gunn, who was at Marvel, he came over to DC, and you have people act like that Superman movie is pretty much an MCU movie. Mm-hmm. It is, and that's what I wanted. I wanted a DC version of the MCU, and I'm starting to get it. But then you have people that'll be kind of pretentious about the MCU, but they'll like Superman. I'm like, it's kind of the same thing, guys. He worked on it. And then same thing when you get into comic stuff. It's like Mark Waid's written for both, right? Like all these people write for both companies. It's nonsensical.
It's very similar to the thing like we see it in politics now. Unfortunately, we see it with, you know, picking a sports team. It's like everybody just wants to be a part of a side and feel like they're part of a side, and you can still do that. Like you can proudly wave the banner of whatever your favorite superhero is or whatever your favorite company is without tearing down other companies in the process. So that's what we're getting at here.
Yeah. Well, Spider-Man Day was a lot of fun. I wish I had some time to have watched something on Spider-Man Day. I think I might try to find some time to play maybe Spider-Man PS5 remastered, because I'm still trying to get my platinum on that. Nice. So maybe swing around in one of the movie suits, because I don't think Final Swing's in that one. I think it's only in Spider-Man 2. So I gotta, yeah. So that one's already platinum, so I don't have to go back to that one right now. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to celebrate some sort of way for Spider-Man Day as it continues, and it sounds like the reason why they usually do these suit reveals and why Superman did theirs, right, is they're gonna be filming. So you're gonna see set photos probably Sunday, Monday, as they are filming in Glasgow with all the New York set dressing to make it look like New York. And I'm very excited for it. And, you know, Spider-Man's my favorite character. This feels very special right now, and I'm just glad we get to soak it in.
You and me both, brother. We're going from one generational run here right on to another. Yeah. And I could not be more excited. Let the real hype begin officially. We've had, you know, casting, rumors, and things like that, but it's real now. It's tangible. And let the road to Spider-Man Brand New Day begin.
Awesome. What's coming up here? We have the Ultimate Comics discussion coming up next week, I believe. We have at some point Eyes of Wakanda is going to be coming up. I haven't had a chance to watch any of it yet. And then we have our discussion that we talked about coming up for what we're going to be covering in 2026, and kind of like catch up on each of those movies. If there's been new quotes, probably not spend as much time on Brand New Day because we just did this. But, you know, if anything new, I guess, springs up between the recordings, we'll kind of touch on it there. And then get ready for Peacemaker Season 2, which is going to be weekly discussions here on Supes and Sabers. And then I guess Zombies and Wonder Man. And we'll, of course, get back to our drafts at some point in the lower period. But very excited for what's to come on Soups and Sabers. July was a incredible month for us. So thank you all for watching and listening. We've seen huge growth in that department. And I can't wait to see where it all goes next. So if you want to follow us at Soups and Sabers on all of our social media, you can contact us on any of those platforms. Have a great rest of your day. We'll catch you next time.